Hello everyone and welcome to another TGN World of Warcraft guide with Rurikhan. So we're here again with TGN.TV and today we're going to be running through the lost city of Tol'vir. Now the thing is, a lot of people have been saying that we've been putting out a lot of tanking videos. So basically what I want to do is I want to stir things up a bit and I'm going to give you a DPS video that I have. Now the particular spec that I'm using is actually a PvP spec, so basically you could consider this a how to DPS with ARMS PvP spec kind of thing. So anyways, our tank is Balush, who's a Night Elf Warrior. I still have trouble saying that, Night Elf Warrior, because Night Elves are kind of flimsy and oh, I'm a Night Elf, No! Wrong! I have problems saying that Night Elves are warriors, but that's just me. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be DPSing as ARMS PvP spec in Lost City of Tol'vir. So as you can see, I usually start up with the Rend immediately, and apparently we're not using any sort of CC, so following the Rend I'm probably just going to go ahead and get my Sweeping Strikes and Blade Storm. So yeah, this is usually not such a good idea, because number one, Blade Storm will probably pull aggro on top of you, regardless of how much damage you do. It almost always pulls aggro on top of you. I find it very hard for a tank to keep stuff out of me when I'm Blade Storming. And this tank doesn't strike me as a particularly awesome one, so again, basically I'm taking a lot of chances here. But the attacks that I'm usually doing is Rend, to make sure that I get my Overpower procs. Whenever I get Overpower procs, I use Overpower, but my main priority is Colossus Strike. Colossus Strike is pretty awesome. It basically strips down your enemies to 0 armor. So, as we all know, our most valuable stat in Wrath of the Lich King was armor penetration, and to be completely honest, that hasn't changed. Blizzard just said we're gonna get rid of that stat. But still, since we get the Colossus Smash, it's all pretty fine and dandy, because every now and then we get to have 100% armor penetration on our foes. So yeah, it's kind of huge bursts of damage every now and then, but I love it. I love bursting the crap out of my enemies. So a good thing you want to be doing if you're a DPS warrior is, in my opinion, regardless of the spec, you want to make sure to get the Glyph of Colossus Smash. Why? Because you're not always going to have a warrior on your party, and warriors are still, to date, the only class that can give you the Sunder Armor debuff. So if you don't have a warrior in your party, you're not going to be having Sunder Armors, and Sunder Armors are really, really important for you to make damage. So you want to make sure that at least on every single boss, you do the Sunder Armors yourself if you're not usually doing them. And once you get the Glyph of Colossus Smash, basically each time you do a Colossus Smash, you will renew that Sunder Armor. And here again, using the good old combo of Sweeping Strikes, Blade Storm, and as you can see, I picked up aggro on just about everything. So what I do is basically Piercing Howl and get the hell out of dodge, because not my problem, I ain't tanking. No, but seriously, if you use some survival skills, it will help out immensely, because as a warrior, I'm basically taking aggro all the freaking time, even though I'm not even in a proper spec. I still take a lot of aggro. It's just the way things are. Even when I was Fury, I was still taking a lot of aggro. It's a pain in the ass for the tank, but what the hell, I figured, hey, it's about time I make someone else's life miserable, since everybody's always getting aggro out of me. So anyways, like I was saying, Colossus Smash, since it's on a 20-second cooldown, except in ARMS, because in ARMS sometimes you have a chance to get a proc that basically refreshes the cooldown of your Colossus Smash. It's actually most of the time lower than 20 seconds, but basically what you want to be doing is, since your Sunder Armor lasts 30 seconds, if you don't have a warrior tank or some other warrior that's doing Sunder Armor in whatever you're doing, I mean, except for Trash. I mean, for Trash it's not really that important. But in whichever boss you're doing, you want to make sure to always put up 3 stacks of Sunder Armor, which is going to get automatically renewed by your Colossus Smash. That's the way it works. But basically, the rotation I'm doing is whenever Colossus Smash is available, I do Colossus Smash. I always keep Rend up at all times. Whenever I get more than, let's say, 60 Rage, I go for the Heroic Strike, even though this is probably subject to change because as of this video, patch 4.0.6 hasn't yet hit. So after 4.0.6, this might be outdated. I hope not. But whenever I'm above 60 rage, I go for the heroic strike. And since this is actually a PvP spec, I don't actually have improved slam because I mean slam in PvP, unless it's instant, it's kind of pointless. Your enemy is not going to be sitting around waiting for you to cast slam, and even though you can cast it while in motion, I still don't find it to be such a useful skill because I can always use other stuff like Heroic Strike or whatever. I don't know, I just don't find Slam to be all that awesome when I'm in ARMS. Now, obviously, if you want to go for a full-out PvE spec and you get improved Slam, this changes a bit because Slam casts faster. And yeah, at the moment though, Slam is still kind of sucking balls, even though they're changing it for 4.06. I'm not going to be sure how that's going to be. I'll have to test it out for myself later. But yeah, so basically the thing that I'm doing is Colossus Smash whenever available, Overpower whenever available, Mortal Strike whenever available, keep Rends up at all times, during AoE, Blade Storm and Sweeping Strikes, or if Blade Storm is on cooldown, Cleave and Thunderclap and Sweeping Strikes whenever available. So for this particular boss, obviously I'm going to go straight for the Rend to make sure that I get my Overpower procs up. And most likely at least I should be using the Inner Rage not Inner Rage, or is it Inner Rage? No, Deadly Calm. The Deadly Calm talent, which basically makes you not consume rage. Yeah, there it is, the Deadly Calm talent. Makes you not consume rage for any abilities you use while still generating rage. And during this time, I basically spam every single skill I can and Heroic Strike, because rage doesn't go away, so I just spam it all. Spam the crap out of the boss, yeah. So at this present moment I'm doing 11k DPS, which is not so bad if you consider that it's actually a PvP spec, and this gear used to be optimized for Fury, as most of you that watch my videos should know that at the start of this expansion I was probably going to be playing Fury DPS, even though things kind of changed a bit since then. Yeah, this gear is still heavily optimized into Fury, which means I have a lot more hit than I should have, and most likely not enough crit and strength. Now, there I popped Blade Storm because I wanted to start DPSing the boss even though I was on the move. So Blade Storm is a good way to do that. Be very careful when you charge in this boss because you just might charge your way through a couple of mines, which actually happened to me there, and I got struck by a mine, which is a royal pain in the ass. You want to really avoid that. In fact, there's actually something really funny happening at the end of this boss. I'll let you guys just see it all the way and tell me if you enjoy it. So this particular video was actually made really late at night. I believe it was like 3 a.m. or something, or 3:30, something like that. And the reason why I'm telling you this is you will find out in a few minutes into the video, because something really funny happens in this video, which is the main reason why I decided to publish it. Even though it's not like a proper spec or anything like that, it's still quite the entertaining video to watch, in my opinion anyways. So this tank is actually moving the boss around a lot more than is necessary, like he's going from post to post and post to post, and basically I got a little confused at this point and I did something really wrong. So I hit a mine and then I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna charge in, and boom! 2 more mines, bitch! What's that? Fail? Yeah, fail indeed. Yeah, like I said, be really careful when you're charging the boss. But yeah, even despite that, I'm still top of the DPS meters with the tank in second place, which I find kind of ridiculous. But yeah, that's what you get. And now check out what this awesome paladin's going to do to me. You have to notice that standing to his right, there's actually a mine there that hasn't exploded yet. And check out what he's going to do. Here's what he's going to do. So he's going to res me, right? And I didn't even notice that, and I'm like, what the fuck? Boom! Yeah! Thanks a lot! Thank you! Very, very much. You're so kind. He basically rezzed me on top of a mine that was about to explode. I barely even had any time to dodge it. I was just completely messed up looking, and I'm like, what? Just rest. Yeah. Maybe it was hilarious. I don't find it very amusing when the repair bill's on me, my friend. So basically I was telling people, yeah, just go on ahead, I'll catch up to you, but they were just like slacking off and whatever. Paladin didn't have any mana. And I don't really know why I'm checking my inventory, but whatever. And carrying right along, you can actually mount in this instance, so that's what we did. We mounted up, headed on to our next patrol here. And yeah, since we weren't using any CC, the warrior's just gonna go ahead and charge in, even though he could be using CC. I mean, he has a fear, he has a root, and nothing else, a fear and a root, yeah. But he could have used a bit CC, but then again, he felt he probably didn't need to because the paladin was doing a pretty good job of keeping everyone up alive. Except for the part where he rezzed me on top of a freaking landmine, thank you very much. But yeah, so here I am again, popping the good old sweeping strikes and blade storm like a madman, getting tons of aggro on top of me, but still doing the good old blade storm, and now immediately piercing howl and get the fuck out of dodge. Yeah, that's the way I usually do it when I DPS and I over aggro. I just basically run out. Another thing you can do when you get over aggro as a warrior is basically heroic leap the fuck out. Give the tank time to pick up your shit. So basically you can heroic leap out of the fight and to a safe point. Now this is where, in my opinion, the tank is kind of pushing it. I don't ever pull, at least I try not to pull these guys like this, because it becomes a real pain in the ass to heal. And why is that? Because the fire breathers, they do that dragon thing that mages do, and basically you will get stunned or dazed or confused, whatever, wandering around aimlessly, and you take a bunch of damage while you're doing that. So yeah, but like I said here, using some rends and then basically spreading some thunderclaps and cleaves, and you know, your basic AoE stuff, using sweeping strikes whenever available, getting some AoE in there. It's the only way that I know of to AoE as an arms warrior. It's that and Blade Storm. Then again, I really feel that in this expansion, Fury Warriors are really lacking on the AoE damage because, I mean, yeah, Whirlwind and Cleave, they kind of got that whole, what's it called? I don't even remember the talent. But it's this talent that kind of whenever you cleave, you get bonus damage to Whirlwind and your next cleave. And yeah, but I don't really feel that that's really all that awesome, to be honest. I mean, if you compared it with the AoE of other classes, yeah. Even though Retribution Paladins aren't that awesome for AoE at the moment either, but yeah, whatever. And now they kind of start doing all these weird river tricks, and I'm like, no, dude, that's just lame. But luckily the Warlock pet kind of took aggro and they kind of gave up on the whole river thing. I mean, really, you want to go through the freaking river just to avoid these 2 packs? I mean, you just pulled like the equivalent of 3 packs like these at the door earlier, so why do you want to go to a river and do the whole buggy thing and dodgy and bleh? Just forget about it. Take on the packs. What you didn't need to do, though, is take them both at the same time, but that's fine for me. I'll just go ahead and Blade Storm like a madman. Yeah, you got it right. I love the crap out of Blade Storm, and this time I'm actually really pushing it because I'm like, Blade Storm and I got aggro and I'm gonna pop Retaliation. I'm freaking insane. But yeah, when I go DPS mode, sometimes I have this issue where I'll just take aggro and I'll just keep aggro. I don't know, it's just the tanking side of me, you know? In fact, I have a run that I'm going to share with you guys, an old Shadowfang Keep run that I made, still as Fury, where I was speaking with a friend of mine, and that he was a tank, and at certain points he would like say, okay, Rurik, you off-tank this, and I'm like, yeah! I mean, like, dual-wielding two-handers, tanking something, that's awesome. Even though you're not really tanking, you're just taking a beating while the tank is actually doing whatever should have been done. But yeah, it's still fun. I can assure you. I'm going to show you that video in the future. I hope you guys enjoy it. But in the meantime, here we are at the whatever the hell his name is. I can't really remember. In fact, I'm looking at it. I'm targeting him. Ah, Lockmaw. We're here at Lockmaw, and obviously people are not entirely confident of this boss because of all the little crocodiles, and I'm just like, bring him to me, bring him on to my little blade storm. Yeah, whatever. I'm kind of pushing the whole crazy ass person just a little bit too much, maybe. Now the healer actually doing the right thing, and since he got the whole crocodiles thing, he actually went into the boss. So what this boss does is he basically summons up small crocodiles from time to time, as well as he has that small pygmy guy called Og running around from time to time. So what you gotta do is you gotta dodge Og, and whoever gets the red arrow on top of their heads, they should be moving to the tank so that the tank tries and grab aggro from as much as possible. Actually, we have the healer picking up most of the aggro here, which is a pain in the ass, but I'm just running behind him, blade storming the crap out of every crocodile, but I still wasn't able to pick the aggro off him because obviously I'm not the tank. The tank should be taunting them, thunderclapping them, doing all kinds of weird stuff on them, but he's not. So I'm basically just trying to AoE my way through those crocodiles. And in the meantime, I actually got hit by Og because I was distracted in the middle of all that dust. But yeah, I got hit by Hog and his whirlwind, which was also a pain in the ass. And the healer getting the crocs yet again. I really pity this poor healer. And at this point, we're getting also the poison debuff. The boss sometimes does a poison debuff, and sometimes he does this thing called dust flail, which basically means that he's making dust in the back of his tail. And if you're there, you will get a 50% hit reduction. And here the healer is just about to die, and the tank is still not focusing on these crocodiles, which he should. He should be at least trying to taunt them off, stun them with shockwave. I mean, do something. Don't let the healer to his thing, and basically the tank dies. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I have my macro for shield wall. I pop up a shield wall, bam, and let's take this boss. I'm going to taunt him off any second now. And yeah, I taunt him off because I didn't notice that the tank was actually resurrected. And I grabbed every single ad onto me and basically went with it. And again, the tank was alive. I didn't really notice, but the druid actually battle rezzed him. But I was just like, yeah, I'm taking this motherfucker out. It's just my tanking instincts kind of take over when something goes wrong, and I immediately go like, okay, shield wall mode, grab my shield, start thunder armoring, you know, because I have my bar set up like that. Each time I switch into defensive stance, I can immediately start tanking a mob because I have all my tanking shortcuts there, just in case it's needed. So yeah, I then apologize to the tank. I'm sorry I didn't see you were battle res, because in the middle of the confusion I really didn't see it. I just saw that the crocodile was targeting someone else, and since I assumed the tank was dead, I thought that someone else was probably someone that shouldn't be tanking. So I immediately taunted the crocodile to me, and obviously we finished it off. And now we got Og to deal with. Now Og is a really simple fight. The only thing you gotta do is basically keep aggro on him and dodge the whirlwind. If you're a tank, that is. If you're someone else, you just gotta dodge the whirlwind and make sure that, yeah, dodge the whirlwind, pretty much. Now, I'm actually taking aggro here because the tank is really generating crappy aggro, and the boss is going to start whirlwinding. So I'm basically running away from the whirlwind in order not to take any damage, but staying in the correct range to resume my attacks with the good old heroic leap, jump on top of the boss, stomp your ass like freaking Super Mario, and yeah, basically nuking the crap out of him. Now I'm going to go for the good old deadly calm, not going to be wasting any rage while I'm going to be nuking the crap out of him, and again he comes with a whirlwind, and I'm basically running away. Yeah, like a little bitch. Good thing though about the ARMS PvP spec is that I get the, what's it called? The talent that whenever I get stunned by this boss, I get extra rage and extra life and all that kinds of good stuff, and that's always good. And I also get the other talent that whenever I get hit, I have a chance to get healed. So once again, running away from the boss is whirlwinding, and the DPS is probably going to finish it off now. At least they would if they had awesome damage, which they really don't. In this boss, my damage isn't actually that awesome, but to be completely honest, during this boss, I'm actually just running away and coming back in. Now, if you actually notice in the chat box, you'll notice that it says there, instance shut down in 11 minutes. And everybody's like, oh my god, we're not going to do this. Oh my god, it's not possible. We totally can't complete this instance in 11 minutes. And let me tell you, yes, you can. Will we be able to complete it though? That's the question. But we will be seeing that in precisely 11 minutes now, won't we? Now, the thing about this is that it actually started challenging me, you know, because I'm like, oh yeah, awesome, we got 10 minutes to finish this. But it's just a challenge, you know? So I'm like, we're racing against the clock now. We're actually racing against the clock because in 10 minutes, it's going to say whether we get our Valor points or not for the day. And I'm just like, hurry up, dude. We're against the clock now. And they're like, oh, but we can never do this. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, just go. Boom. I immediately charge in, and I'm not even going to wait for threat, dude. You better work your ass off because I'm basically just going to go ahead and do the Sweeping Strikes Blade Storm. And if you can't handle the heat, get out of the fucking kitchen. That's all I got to say. And basically, I'm taking a whole bunch of aggro and immediately doing the good old Piercing Howl and getting away, while obviously tanking the Darkcaster because he's making spells. He's not going to be making all that much melee damage, so I don't really care. And I'm also going to be interrupting his ass and throwing him down with the good old throwdown skill, stunning him so that he doesn't make that much damage. And as soon as everything dead, just keep on going. Don't stop. And I'm already telling the group to begin thinking about who can kite the Phoenix, because the next boss we actually have to select someone to kite the Phoenix. And I'm already telling them, select whoever you need to kite the Phoenix so that we get the next boss down as fast as possible. Now here I am, killing off this pack here, and I'm immediately saying, who's gonna kite it? Is it gonna be the Lock? Is it gonna be the Druid? One of you guys is gonna have to kite it. I'm just basically trying to think ahead so that we don't have to stop and discuss it when we get there, because at this point in time, every single mob up until the boss, you can go from here directly to the boss and only kill 2 mobs. It's possible. However, they're not going to do that because I really didn't want to say this, but to be honest, if you're on the clock, you don't want to be killing off needlessly when you don't need it. But they're just like completely giving up. I'm not. I'm just like, okay, we can skip these. We can actually skip these. The tank is like fast, go, fast, whatever. But I'm like, let's go here, skip. But no, the tank is already charged because he's an idiot and he dies during bosses. You freaking idiot. You didn't need to handle this pack. And we're actually going to have something even worse than this. And now the Druid says that he can try, he's done it before. He's replying to my thing about the whole Phoenix deal, if he can kite the Phoenix or not. And he's saying, yeah, sure, I can try, I've done it before, whatever. And I'm basically going to be going after the caster to make sure that this caster doesn't make a mess of our healer, because the tank obviously is not all that awesome at tanking. So yeah, I'm going to be taking down the caster. Caster going down, and the other mob going down, and at this point in time, we can still make it. It's 7 minutes. We can still make it. We just need not to aggro needless packs. We just need to go straight ahead, kill the 2 mobs in here, and basically that's what I was trying to do. But why did they have to go to the other side? Why? And then when they go to the other side, something even worse happens, which is we get here, and everybody's able to dodge the stupid pack over there, except for this guy, this fucking idiot that had to mount because he just decided like, yeah, I'm just going to mount and just going to mount my way through the damn instance, and boom, he aggroes the pack. Okay, so we got to kill another pack. So look at how much time we wasted. We wasted about like 2 to 3 minutes on needless packs. It's completely retarded. We could totally finish the instance, but we couldn't because we were against the clock and these guys were just doing stupid shit. So again, here I am, tanking down the caster to make sure that he doesn't make a mess of our healer and he doesn't silence us or fear him. I'm basically just tanking this caster because it doesn't make all that much melee damage and I can handle the interruption and the shadow bolts and whatever. And again, this pack is still not handled, and here I am, blade storming, and in the meantime, somebody pulls the other pack at the same time. And I'm like, oh my god, seriously? And now we're down to freaking 6 minutes because we wasted a whole bunch of time that we shouldn't have wasted. And I'm sorry, I know that I'm speaking like a bit pissed off, but the whole thing is that it was a challenge to me, you know, to beat the clock, to actually say, no, we're going to be doing this in 10 minutes and do it. And I haven't said we're going to be doing it yet, but it's just that these people were wasting it, you know? It's like they were completely wasting the time. And like these Tol'vir merchants, we could have skipped them, but I already knew the way that they were playing that we weren't going to be able to skip it. And again, here comes one of my guildies saying, "You're cutting it short in there," and I'm like, "Yeah, I totally know." So basically, we're going to be killing off these merchants to make sure that nobody aggroes them. And now, since I've already established that the druid is going to be kiting the phoenix, I'm already saying, "Go, go, go, boss, boss, engage boss, let's go. 4 minutes, we can totally do this. Let's go, guys." So we engage the boss, and I am immediately nuking the boss. This guy, Balosh, not really positioning the boss the best way it could be positioned, and then he stands in the fire for far too long, and yeah, he's basically taking a beating. That boss could have been disarmed. In fact, I disarmed that boss, or did he? I'm not sure. One of us disarmed the boss. I'm not sure who did it. It was probably him because he was in defensive stance and I didn't notice myself stance dancing. So yeah, the boss was disarmed to make sure that he didn't take such a huge nuke. And again, nuking the boss as fast as possible. This boss is basically all about kiting the phoenix. There's a phoenix that he summons in his first phase. It has to be kited by someone either ranged or a melee that knows how to kite. So the phoenix is being kited. Other than that, you just have to dodge the fire and nuke the boss. That's the only thing you gotta do. So we're nuking the crap out of the boss, and now he's going to be reaching his second phase. And his second phase is actually a little bit more tricky. So what happens in the second phase is he's gonna pull us all in close to him. We're going to be forced to kneel and pray or whatever inside this glowing circle. Now this glowing circle makes damage, so the thing that's going to come out of the circle now is actually our souls, because as you can see, if you look at the picture, we're still kneeling there. So the thing is, that circle is making damage to everyone, and if you stand in it with your soul, it's going to make double the damage. Now what you gotta do is you gotta kill this Harbinger of Darkness super fast. You gotta kill it as fast as possible, and you gotta see if you got the Soul Sever, you gotta make sure to kite the Phoenix. Now this tank is not doing that, so basically the Phoenix absorbed the Soul Sever and got stronger. Now I tried moving away when I got Soul Severed so that my soul wouldn't be as close to the Phoenix as it to allow that she would absorb it immediately, and then I nuked it down. And yeah, we're basically just killing off the Phoenix. Actually, what I usually do when I tank it is I kite the Phoenix around so that nobody has to worry about the souls. And now we're back on the boss, nuking the crap out of the boss, and everybody's like really nervous because it's like 2 minutes left, and they're thinking, oh, we're not going to be able to make this. And I'm like, we totally got this. We just totally got this. Come on, let's kill this boss. And what's going to happen? Either the healer panicked or went or something, or the tank did something wrong. I can't really tell at this point because it's such a messy kill right now. But I am, at this point in time, disarming the mob to try and get less damage to the tank. As you notice me stance dancing there, I did stance dance into defensive stance, disarmed the boss, and went back into the battle stance to nuke him. But even with that, the healer doesn't seem to be able to keep up the tank alive. So basically here comes another blast of fire. And the tank takes a bit of that damage, and he's down. And once again, here I go. Shield wall macro, grab my tanking weapon, and beat the living snot out of this motherfucker. And yeah, this is something that you should always try to do if you're a class that's capable of tanking. When something goes absolutely wrong, you just try and pick up the boss. Sometimes you can save it, sometimes you can't. Shit happens. So at this point, I'm like just saying, Resm, go, 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 Resm, we got 2 minutes, let's go, let's do this. And they're like, no. It's like, no, it's no use, I'm just gonna give up. And they're all like, just like slacking off. And I'm basically, come on, let's do this. I'm running at the whirlwind thing to get to the last boss. Instant shutdown in 1 minute. I'm not exactly sure we could do the boss in 1 minute, but I had assumed that the servers don't immediately shut down because there was this time that I was in the server where it was saying it was going to shut down and it didn't. And now they say there's no time and they will leave the party. And so at this point it's kind of pointless because we're not going to find someone to finish this off. But damn, it was such a challenge. I was really like hoping, oh, come on, let's do this. It's a challenge. And I was like, it was still doable because the server doesn't shut down immediately. And now look what happens. Oh my god. Because the servers don't shut down immediately. And now check this out. Boof. No? Boof. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next one right here on TGN World of Warcraft.